Well, hello, my people, my peeps. Welcome in to a early afternoon broadcast. I'm still making it do what it do. I still feel like it's morning because time just seems like it is literally flying. Um, I want to come to you guys and bring to you this story that is just strange indeed of a woman who stabbed another customer. They both were customers at Marshall's. That's right. But before we get into the story, I'm going to just have a little chit chat with you guys. I brought my chai tea right here, so I thought I'd have a little talk with you guys regarding just life in general, what's going on now, and social media, and how things are changing, and how when I heard this story, it just was like, oh, hold on for a minute. It was like the NPCs are crashing out, right? The NPCs they're losing it, and and people, that are having to come to terms with what is going on in the world, especially what's going on and what's taking place in America, and so that's what I want to talk about, and talk about social media and how social media is changing and has been changing for quite a while, and especially now with the advent of AI, and that now pretty soon the majority of the content that you'll be receiving will be through AI generated avatars, right? And not necessarily avatars, but just AI. And I say avatars because AI kind of is like the spirit in the machine. The machine is going to be taking on the actual prompts of the people putting in the prompts, whether it be former YouTubers or however this goes down. So while you guys are coming in the building, as you come in, make sure you go ahead and get the thumbs up. What I want to do, because when I'm over in this area, the sound is never quite on point. So I'm going to check the sound really quick. Give me a minute. So, okay. Wow. Okay. We're cooking with grease. Hold on for a minute. I hope you guys are having a great day so far. So far, so good. But yeah. But so I want to say, hold on for a minute. Let me see. Welcome in, welcome in. Thank you. I appreciate that. I was talking about the social media, right? And I was saying that a lot of the social media influence will be taken over by avatar, right? Or the AI avatar. That's what I'm calling it anyway. They'll be taking over social media platforms, and you won't have your real social media influencers, like the real life, flesh, and blood influencers. But I'm starting now, when I look on social media, it's really looking like the influencers themselves are what you say, let me braid your hair with no thank you, with my teeth. I'm good on that, thank you. But go ahead and get the thumbs up as you come into the building. So because I say this because it's a repeat of content. It's like they repeat and repeat themselves. I've been hearing, and it's scary because it seems like they're becoming human bots because they repeat themselves. Is it or is it the good times? Or are we in a depression? Or they're not really reporting on what's really going on in America. And I focus on America for the most part, and then I might give you some news regarding anything outside of America, national news or things like that. Thank you, thank you. As you come to the building, I appreciate it if you get the thumbs up. And so it's been just amazing how I have heard so many, a lot of men, to be precise, whining, you know, um, about what's going on, but then on the other hand, they'll they'll flip like they have some kind of psychosis going on, and they'll say, "Oh, it's the worst times ever. Oh, it's the greatest times ever." I am, for me, to tell you, I am really tired of hearing content that depresses the viewers. Content that depresses viewers, whether these social media influencers know it or not, but and they should, because they're influencers. Words are powerful, right? So when you come on and you're telling your audience how to to be alone, to stay separate, don't be with people, and always telling people cut people off. Don't have people, don't be around people, be by yourselves, become a loner. When I see that kind of content, I shake my head, because people are persuaded by certain content influencers, right? And so when you have that kind of rhetoric going across the internet constantly, and to people who visit your your site, your page, they start to believe that, right? And you create an environment or community of loners who might be having issues. And I'm talking about this really quick, and we're going to get to the story about Marshalls, okay? Because these people come on social media, they're looking for community, they're trying to connect with people, right? Although they might be alone. But you have these social media influencers saying, yeah, be alone. You can't trust anybody. Um, uh, but yet and still, these people have families, right? They have children. They might have a spouse, but they come on and they tell their audience to be alone. How detrimental is that to people's health, to people's psyches? Because they're going to cut off their camera, and they're going to go play with their children if they do. They're going to interact with their children. They're going to interact with their wife or their husband, or so on and so forth. But they just got through speaking to people who view them hundreds, maybe thousands at a time, right? Telling these people, cut people off, be alone. And these people might be alone. They might already have issues talking or interacting with people, right? And so their only connection is through connecting on social media platforms. And so I say that that kind of rhetoric is very, very dangerous in these days and times. People are going through a lot, especially now that with this shutdown, the government shutdown and all of that. So people have strains on their lives, right? So sometimes to unwind, they'll visit those sites, and it's very detrimental to people's health, very, and their mental psyche. So what we're going to do is we're going to listen to this story of a woman who flipped out in Marshall. She was at Marshall's. Go ahead and get the thumbs up as you come into the building. I would appreciate it. And subscribe to the channel today, okay? This woman flipped out. She was at Marshall's, and she couldn't wait. Her patience was at zero, okay? So let's get that story. Let me cue this up really quick. Her patience was at zero. And so the reason why I said, and I went into the intro of this, having this conversation about how dangerous it is for you to be listening to platforms that constantly tell you to cut people off and be alone. they could be speaking into someone who's already there. And these people can have no patience with people. They slowly start to lose the ability to interact with people. And I speak this, and I say these things because I I work with children, you know, and so one of the skill sets of working with children is socialization. Okay, and socialization is very important, not only for children but for people in general. You know, you just we are not meant to be alone. Didn't I say that in the Bible? Man is not meant to be alone. So when you have rhetoric like that, you get people becoming what they call hermits, or back in the day, I guess, I don't know, they probably still call them hermits. Like they used to go out into the woods and just literally be alone. And that is so dangerous. I believe they did a study of that in Alcatraz. Hold on, let me peep at the comments real quick. So they did a study when they had Alcatraz, the jail, the famous jail Alcatraz, that was on an island in California, and where they kept people in isolation for like their whole time, their whole sentence basically. And these people in isolation in the dungeons of Alcatraz literally went crazy simply from the isolation, because it is a cruel and unusual punishment. And I feel that the people who you watch, if you're listening to people that always are telling you to cut people off, leave them alone, but they boast and they show their families and they show them interacting with their families and they show how proud they are of their family, but they're telling their audience, cut people off, leave them alone, is a cycle. It is a, how do I want to say this? It's just detrimental to people in society to push that type of rhetoric, that type of message out. And especially in this day and time, because you don't know exactly what people are going through, right? And so we're just going to get into the study, and then I'll start chopping it up with y'all again. So let's listen to this report of this woman going into Marshall's, and she flipped out, y'all.
In your head, a woman from New Jersey is accused of stabbing another woman in the parking lot of a Marshall's. Investigators say the two women had a disagreement in the checkout line. They claim the suspect then purchased a knife at the store and stabbed the woman. New Jersey reporter Tony Yates is live outside the Marshall's in Kearney with the details. Tony.
Yeah, Liz, the suspect has a detention hearing set for Thursday. And like you said, this wasn't even two shoppers having a tussle over an item that was for sale. As you said, it sounded like one person simply ran out of patience. And people we spoke to today say, sadly, that has become way too common. Yeah, what do you think's going on in the world?
Insanity.
It is a busy Marshall's location, but on Saturday, patience ran out for one woman who ended up being arrested. Kearney police say 25-year-old Amber Thompson of Newark was angered by another customer whom she decided was taking too long in the checkout line, and then threatened to harm the shopper once they got outside. Well, police say Thompson bought a set of knives, took one out of the packaging, chased the shopper down, and stabbed her several times. The victim was rushed to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. The suspect was found back inside the Marshall's. Police say she was hiding in a bathroom where a bloody knife was also found. We tried to speak to many shoppers as they exited the store off camera. Some questioned whether or not there should be more security here, especially after the stabbing. Others say many people are simply on edge and acting irrationally.
I think it's pretty crazy that happened here. And what is this, Kearney Harrison? Yeah, it's just crazy because it never happens around here.
Well, Amber Thompson is being held in the Hudson County Correctional Facility. She is facing numerous charges, including aggravated assault and possession of a weapon. For now, we're live here in Kearney, New Jersey. Tony Yates, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Let's give out a shout to Eyewitness News, Channel 7. Okay, So, like I was saying before, people are like literally like that's a major crash out. Yeah, 25 years old growing up with that makes no sense. Jeremy, is that your name? Let me put this on the screen. With Obama. That we're not even talking about Obama, Jeremy. See, this is what I'm talking about. Either these maybe bots coming in, or did you see the title, Jeremy? Did you see the title, my boy, my guy? Did you see the title when we're talking about this woman who went into Marshall's and crashed out? Now that's the crash out. You know, that's the word they're using now. That's a really popular word, crash out. Oh, they're crashing out. You know, people come on social media and they speak their mind. They have something to say and they say that's crashing out. And I say that's not crashing out. You know, I've even been accused of being crashing out because I speak my mind, right? No, going into Marshall's as a customer and not having the patience to wait until another customer checks out. The patience is not there. The social skills are not there. This customer that didn't have any patience anymore went back in the store, got out the line, went into the store, picked up a knife pack. You know how they sell the knives, the little knife packs and all of that, and went back and told the lady in line. That's nothing. Listen to what people say. Let me write that down. Listen to what people say. Okay, what people are telling you and saying to you, especially if you're in an altercation. But we'll touch back on that. Took her behind and purchased a knife set and proceeded to chase the woman out the store in the parking lot and caught the woman and proceeded to stab her several times. Because the lady in front of her was checking out. It was not white. Now check this out, because we all have been in lines before. At the cash, you're waiting at the to check out. The cashier is ringing the other person's item up. It's not the person who's in front doing the job, ringing it. Now let me think. They didn't specify if it was a self-checkout. So we have to take that into consideration. It could have been a self-checkout, okay? But let's look at it both ways. Either way, this woman had no patience, my people, my peeps. No patience at all. No social skills. The social skills are busted. They're gone. They're out the door because you know when you go into certain environments, there is a certain way that you carry yourself. There are certain things that you should understand about the environments that you enter into, such as grocery stores, gas stations, restaurants, libraries. If I just name out like I just did, like the library, you automatically know you don't go into the library screaming with your take a radio, playing music, blasting music, because there's certain criteria that are held at a library. There's certain protocols, right? So even if this woman was at a self-checkout, ringing up her products and maybe moving a little slower, that's not her job, first of all. That's not her job. They made it our jobs to, because they put all those self-checkouts everywhere in every store, and pretty soon it'll just be bots. It'll just be bots, They made it our job. And then they have the nerve, like Walmart had the nerve to ask for a tip or a ratings. I'm gonna rate myself, checking myself out. But anyway, let me not digress. It's not her job. So if she's taking her time, if she don't know how to read the scan code, if something's going wrong, if something's amiss, the lady that stabbed this other lady, the victim, should already know that you might have to call for the the cashier or whoever's supervising self-checkout to come help you. You might got some alcohol beverages that need to be verified. It's things that are happening. So the process might just move a little slower than most. And then you might have somebody who just might not be as fast. It could have been an older lady. Could have been it's a lot of variables, people. But would you say Marshall's has a huge line and none of it is self-checkout? Oh, okay. Well then, because I've gone to Marshall's every now. You're right. It's almost like Ross. So you're right. It's almost like Ross because I don't see any self-checkout. So okay, so let's check that off the list. It wasn't no self-checkout. Thank you. It wasn't no self-checkout because you're right. Marshall's is like a Ross. So if you've ever been to Ross, Marshall's is like that too. So you're right. There's no self-checkout. Thank you. So then okay. Then it's the cashier. The cashier is moving at her pace, at the cashier's pace. Why did the woman get so upset, crashed out, went and bought a knife, and stabbed the woman in line? Chased her down, guys. Chased her down. So hold on. We're going to get the report again. Because when I heard that, I know you lying. That don't make no sense at all. But in this day and time, it could make plenty of sense because people have no patience. People are on edge. Okay?
Away from a challenge.
As the commercials go by, go ahead and get the thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Okay? And go ahead and subscribe to the channel today. Thumbs up, thumbs up. Oh, is that what you mean? I'm going back up really quick, guys, on the comments. Is that what you mean, Jeremy, about Obama with the boys and the girls in the same bathroom? That's very twisted. I agree with you wholeheartedly. Yes, I agree with you. No fight here. Yes, very sick and twisted. Okay. All right. The 20-somethings have no patience. Hey, I don't know. It's a lot of people that are losing patience. That are a lot of people that don't have no social skills. They bugging out. They crashing out. And with the pressure of the economy and the way it is, that's just more added pressure. And that brought me back to the reason why I say it's very dangerous for platforms, people who are influencers, people who have platforms, for them to always, every other day, if not every day, their message is to whomever visits their platforms or swipes up and happen to see them live, and they're hearing, cut people off, stay away from people. People are dangerous. That is not how you teach people to interact with people. Okay, that is not how even you teach children to interact with children. Like I said, part of my background is working with children and understanding the development of children from infancy all the way into adolescence to young adults up into 2025. Okay, and when we see children have a disagreement, if you watch parents at a playground and they're maybe sitting on a bench, right? And their children are playing with one another, and the children are going to be children, and they might start fighting over a toy, right? Parents instantly jump up and rush to the scene, right? To break it up or to, intervene. And learning about child development and learning and teaching parents and children, which I did, about child development, you don't want to jump up and rush into, unless it's danger, like if somebody has a weapon or something along those lines. But fighting or tussling or getting into it over a toy, you don't want to just immediately jump up and break that up, intervene, because you're not allowing the children to develop their abilities to problem solve, you see. And so when parents always are jumping up and intervening and breaking it up, oh no, don't hit, and making the children apologize right off, and sometimes the parents don't even know who started, how it started, and especially if their toddlers are nonverbals. They're interjecting their ideals and not letting the children start to use their little brains and problem solve. Okay. And so it's just, when I see that, it's almost as if this is happening on social media, where these content creators are, just stay at home, don't be with nobody, cut people off, don't have friends, people are evil, people are this and that. And well, if you're not allowing people to interact with one another, or saying that, but and half of these people have families. Oh, that's the crazy thing. Half of these people have families that they interact with, and they turn their cameras off and they go interact with their families, but they tell you don't have any interaction with people, which is ludicrous. It's crazy in and of itself, because what they're doing is they're getting people to really start to isolate themselves to the point where they're losing their abilities to problem solve. They're losing their abilities to be able to socialize. You understand? Now, and they're losing their abilities to decide if you want to interact with a certain person. Okay? If you don't go and you don't talk to people, if you don't intermingle with people, you will truly have an issue with everyone, because it'll be your world. Nobody else exists other than you in your world. And that is a problem, because this world is occupied by many people of many different cultures, languages, and ethnicities, and so on and so forth. What's my bloodline type? Up for discussion. We can talk about bloodline types. What is your bloodline type? Are you trying to find out if people are O? Are you trying to find out, let me know what that's about. Astral projection, up for discussion. Well, let's finish up this one, because you just asked for two different subjects. So let's finish up this subject really quick, and maybe we'll tap into the bloodline type and astral projection. Okay, so let's finish up. I say to you, be very careful going on to platforms that are constantly telling you to cut people off, because they're like parents that don't allow their children to develop problem solving skills. Do you understand? They cut people off, and then what? They don't give you no other suggestions. They don't inform you on how to proceed from that. They cut their cameras off and they go and they interact with their families. And they leave you, the viewer, to their platforms lost and thinking that you are doing the right thing by cutting people off. And you're not. You're putting yourself in isolation. And not to say isolation is a bad, totally bad, but you do that for a period of time. But if you constantly are hearing that over time, people start to think that they need to be cut off from people altogether. And that simply is very, very dangerous for your mentality, your mental. Okay, so let's get this report. Let me turn this up, cue it up.
Your head. A woman from New Jersey is accused of stabbing another woman in the parking lot of a Marshall's. Investigators say the two women had a disagreement in the checkout line. They claim the suspect then purchased a knife at the store and stabbed the woman. New Jersey reporter Tony Yates is live outside the Marshalls in Kearney with the details. Tony.
Yeah, Liz, the suspect has a detention hearing set for Thursday. And like you said, this wasn't even two shoppers having a tussle over an item that was for sale. As you said, it sounded like one person simply ran out of patience. And people we spoke to today say, sadly, that has become way too common. Yeah, what do you think's going on in the world?
Insanity.
It is a busy Marshalls location, but on Saturday, patients ran out for one woman who ended up being arrested. Kearney police say 25-year-old Amber Thompson of Newark was angered by another customer whom she decided was taking too long in the checkout line and then threatened to harm the shopper once they got outside. Well, police say Thompson bought a set of knives, took one out of the packaging, chased the shopper down and stabbed her several times. The victim was rushed to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. The suspect was found back inside the Marshalls. Police say she was hiding in a bathroom where a bloody knife was also found. We tried to speak to many shoppers as they exited the store off camera. Some questioned whether or not there should be more security here, especially after the stabbing. Others say many people are simply on edge and acting irrationally.
I think it's pretty crazy that happened here. And what is this, Kearney Harrison? Yeah, it's just crazy because it never happens around here.
Well, Amber Thompson is being held in the Hudson County Correctional Facility. She is facing numerous charges, including aggravated assault and possession of a weapon. For now, we're live here in Kearney, New Jersey. Tony Yates, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
All right. So
The next story is going to leave you
that-
shaking your
with
head.
that report, listening to it again, I could tell this woman was on edge. Her problem solving was just gone, because how you just stabbed up somebody, then go back into the store, hide in the bathroom. Most people would try to flee the scene, not hide, go back into the crime scene and hide in the bathroom. That just is just out there. But that just is just, I want to hammer, I want to drive it home to you guys that do not take advice from people who constantly tell you to isolate yourself. Do not take advice from people who constantly tell you to cut people off. That is not wise advice. And then they don't follow it up with anything. Cut people off, isolate yourself, and nothing more. That's their message. That is a dangerous message, because you're going to start having all of these people that are on edge crash out and potentially hurt somebody, because they're losing their problem solving skills. Their critical thinking is out the window. It's gone. And then their patience is totally short. They have no patience when they know they're supposed to wait in line, when they know they're supposed to do certain things. That we teach children these things when they're young. But you have a grown adult who does not have the patience to wait in line, and they teach you that in your military industrial complex system, known as the highway to the jail system, as in your school systems. Right? You're gonna move when the bell rings. You're gonna sit in a particular seat. You're gonna learn how to walk in line. That's all. But I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. But I wanted to bring you that report because I thought it was very interesting. Indeed, that Marshalls is, like I said, it's like a Ross, but yet and still it's like a higher, better high-end Ross. It's a better version of Ross. Okay, so who was that all around the show 100? All around the show 100 asked about, will we be talking about bloodline? So pretty much that was the report that I wanted to give you all. And exactly, I don't know what you want to talk about bloodlines. You want to talk about bloodlines, that there are certain bloodlines here that are ancient bloodlines. I don't know. You just asked me, were we going to talk about bloodlines? If you're still in the building, let me know the direction in which you want to go with bloodlines, because there are bloodlines that are connected to the Most High God, There are bloodlines that are just ancient bloodlines. There are bloodlines that are evil, the bloodline of the serpent. And there are bloodlines of many different beings here, creatures here. You know, some of them may call them reptilians. We can go into that, but I really don't know the angle in which you wanted to go with that. So I don't want to just jump into different angles and not know what you want. And then you asked about astral projection. And I don't know if you want to ask me, is astral projecting real? And it is. People can astral project. If y'all hear children playing outside, that's because I have the door open and the windows open. Let some fresh air breeze in. But astral projection is real. People can astral project. But you really should not be astral projecting, because it is, from what I've heard, it's dangerous. Some people go into the astral realm, and first and foremost, everyone goes into the astral realm. This is what we're talking about. This is the question that was asked. Everyone goes into the astral realm at night when they go to sleep. Period, point blank. It's the spiritual realm, right? So everyone dies at night when they go to sleep, or you when you take a nap, you're literally dying, right? In your spirit, it leaves your body, it leaves your soul. So your spirit goes into what they would consider the astral plane, the astral world, the spirit realm. Now, some people try to do this purposely, like make themselves enter into the astral realm. But this when they do that, that can be very dangerous to them, because there are spirits that reside in the astral realm that are evil, okay? And they will attach to persons that go into the astral realm. There are a lot of people who practice witchcraft. They do that a lot, try to go into the astral realm or astral project into people's homes to watch them, to spy on them. And this is something different between, because you might hear when I said watch them and spy on them as monitoring spirits, but these are witches and warlocks. These are people who dabble in magic and the occult and secret. That's all the occult means, is secrets unknown. And they dabble with the devil, demons. These things are totally real, okay? And so they get their powers and their strengths from these entities. So they really rely on these astral projections and trying to watch people and harm people in this manner, in any way. That's why it's you need to be mindful not to always take things. You know, people like to give you things as gifts and money, and just be mindful who is giving you things, because they're trying to put an anchor themselves to your place, your maybe your vehicle, your anything that they can anchor themselves to, where they can try to either astral project into your homes or try to invoke or send entities your way to try to do harm to you all. And I know a lot of you guys don't believe that is real. It's just hard to fathom. And I know it's hard to fathom because religion has really just destroyed the minds of people. And if religion had really come out and not made it so convoluted, I think more people would understand that everything is not what it seems. Okay. And it would be more understood and it would be better received. But people took religion religion and used it and weaponized it in so many ways. I mean, from oppression of people, oppression of women. It's so many ways that religion is used as a weapon. Okay, and it's really gonna wind up hurting people and in the long run. And I wanted to talk about. I kept saying, and I have it queued up. I want to talk about 3-Eye Atlas, and I was going to do a show on 3-Eye Atlas and talk about that because 3-Eye Atlas is a, you know what? Maybe I should come back. Put a 9 in the chat if you want me to come back. I mean, like right back and talk about 3-Eye Atlas, or we can just do it now, and I'll just have to change the title. Since we're talking about astro projecting, and you know, that was a question that all around the show asked about astro projection, and I want to talk about that because it coincides along with 3-Eye Atlas, because they have some people that the government has hired, and they are saying that they have communicated with beings on 3-Eye Atlas. So I think that's what I'm going to do, because I don't want to have two different videos or topics coincide with each other, although you did ask the question all around the show about astral projection and things of that nature. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just end this live stream and just upload and come back and just show you and talk about 3-Eye Atlas, and we'll do that shortly. So if you come back in a little bit, give me about 5 to 10 minutes, and we will be talking about 3-Eye Atlas, because astral projection was a question that was brought up, and yeah, we'll do that. I'll just go ahead and knock it out since it's on my mind, and we'll get it going. So y'all tune back in. Go ahead. As we get ready to close, go ahead and get the thumbs up, thumbs up, and subscribe to the channel today. All right, I'm out, and much love.